I realize there's been a lot of controversy on how you should play certain decks because not a lot of players consider themselves as the best players of a certain deck, but I've been playing this deck for a few formats now. I believe I'm pretty good at it. It's how I got my Nationals invite. It's how I top consistently at a very decent locals, playing top 16 every Saturday. It's how I've got where I am on websites, etc., etc. I'm gonna draw a few opening hands and show you guys how you should probably play them out. Just kind of explain some of the major plays, stuff of that nature. Alright, so let's see. We have Debris, Ryko, Bottomless, Lone Fire, Gores, and we draw into Caius. So, in fact, we have Gores in hand. Once us, a lot of players would, I don't know why, but a lot of players would pass. That's a bad play. Even though we have Caius in hand, you never want to pass when you have so much potential in this hand. So I just save that for a needier time. The first thing I'd probably do was I have a very thick deck right now. This Lone Fire has a lot of capability since I have Titanial still in the deck, so I would probably set a Ryko, hope to mill a Glow Bulb or Dandelion for first turn, and set my Bottomless. And let's assume I'm facing X-Sabers. They go for a Bogart play into Full Helm Knight or something, I don't know, or Poshul. So I Bottomless their Bogart. They don't want to make any plays with Poshul, so they'll set 2 back row and then I'll draw. I'll flip my Ryko, kill a back row. I'll see what I mill. Oh, I drew no Bottomless, by the way. I mill Debris, I mill Pot of Avarice, I mill Solemn Warning. Now my deck's getting to be a little bit thinner, but I still don't want to play off this Lone Fire just yet. Since they have that Poshul, I don't want to let them... I don't know what their back row is, I don't know what their hand is, but chances are they probably have something that can get that Poshul back and go for a Synchro. So I'd probably sack the Ryko, get the Caius, and remove Poshul, etc. Doesn't matter if they Bottomless it, it's just fodder. It's already served its purpose. I wouldn't worry about it. Now, here is an excellent time to play off not having any Spell Trap. At that point, I would either set the Bottomless and go for Lone Fire play next turn, or let the Gores go off and do your shenanigans. It really depends on how much advantage you have. I personally would probably set the Bottomless. If I was playing Sabers, I probably wouldn't set the Bottomless. I would let because I'm not a whole lot of X-Sabers are playing Airbellum anymore. I just hope for Ember's Blade or Full Helm Knight or something like that, and Gores in defense, like you always should. Draw into your plays and then play it out from there. But that's really just a personal choice. I would much rather have the Gores on the field and then go for Lone Fire plays and not run into a dark hole and keep pushing for or bait their Solemn Warning with the Gores. You want to keep your key cards that feed cards like Pot of Avarice, like especially Lone Fire and cards of that nature. You want to keep those cards safe and bait out the Solemn Warnings, the Solemn Judgments, the Bottomlesses, everything else you can beforehand. Caius is not important, relatively speaking. It doesn't really feed it doesn't really feed Pot of Avarice that much. Lone Fire will feed 1-2 Lone Fires by itself, and then if you play Titanial or Dandelion or Spore or Global, it'll feed that and send it to the graveyard, and that's putting 3 in graveyard by itself usually. Ryko's a +1, so it doesn't matter if they Solemn Warning it breaks even, and if they don't, then it's feeding your Pot of Avarice and it's giving you a +1. So don't feel bad if you're don't try have any qualms about sacking your Ryko for Titanial or using it in a Debris play, etc. So here's another quick opening hand. We'll see Dandelion, Lone Fire, Pot of Avarice, and Debris. And you draw into your Glow Bulb. So the first thing I'd look at is what can I do with Lone Fire. What I do when I see Lone Fire is I see, do I have any other plants in my hand so that I can keep this Lone Fire on the field and go for a Synchro next turn, whether it be Black Rose, Goyo, Brio, whatever I want to do, or just bring out Titanial and have these Lone Fires set on the field for extra protection. So this Dandelion does not have to remain on the field. It's dead in my hand because I'm not playing Quick Draw. So the best thing to do would probably be to set it and go for a bigger Lone Fire play with tributing tokens, and then probably go Formula Synchro next turn or something like that. So I'd set the Dandelion, I'd set the book, I'd let them hit my, in my turn, let them hit the Dandelion, I get tokens, and then draw. Next turn, I go for a Lone Fire play. Sack a token, Lone Fire, sack token. You should probably not sack the token the first time, but sack the other Lone Fire, because you want to go for Formula Synchron. So you get your Spore. You sink 2. You get your Formula Synchron, you draw 1. And there's my Tech Dust Tornado, by the way. And then you have your Spore that's live. You get a Cell Synchro for Catastrophe at any time. You could Synchro right here, Black Rose Dragon, boom, but there's no real need to. And then your Debris is live because you have this Dandelion in here. You can use Spore, and the turn after you go Debris. Let's say they Debris boom, or they Black Rose and boom. You can Excel Synchro for Catastrophe to dump or Android, so as to feed this Pot of Avarice. Let's say like they go boom. You don't want to just let these die. You want to Excel Synchro. Say go Android and hit it and let it hit the graveyard anyways, because you have this Pot of Avarice that puts more targets in there for this, because you're running 3 of these. It's important. So you draw. Let's say they have a bunch of back row or something, and you can get pluses off of this. And you Debris, Dandelion, blow up the field with Black Rose. You get 2 tokens, and from here you have a choice. You can Pot of Avarice and send the stuff back, or use your graveyard as a toolbox. Say remove Lone Fire for Spore, put a Catastrophe on the field, Goyo, Brio, etc. by making this a level 4. You never want to remove your Dandelion, you always want to remove the Lone Fire. So basically, the best way to explain Debris is to use your graveyard, your deck, and your extra all as a toolbox together. You want to... it's not an OTK deck. It's not big on OTKs. It's a lot of... it is very explosive, however. And if you're playing an Naturia variant, for example, you can go... an easy play that I've seen is... if you're playing like Quick Draw or Naturia, you just discard Dandelion for Quick Draw or whatever. You sync with a token for Drill Warrior. You remove your Drill Warrior. You have this Drill Warrior loop going. At that point, then you can Debris and get your Dandelion back. Sync for Stardust. Foolish or Global. Mill for Global. Sync 2. Formula. Draw 1. Sync. Shooting Star. And then you can reveal your top 5 and get multiple attacks from Cherry, Quick Draw, Debris. Some people I've seen running Turbo because of Road Warrior. You can bring out your Turbo and sync 2 for Formula. Get out easy Formula Synchron +1. Plus multiple, actually, it's +2. Just things of that nature. It's not extremely complex, but it takes certain practice. All the easiest thing that I have to say is just keep practicing with the deck. Don't be hesitant to use any and every card in your deck other than Titanial as a synchro material, whether it be Caius or your synchros, even your Black Rose. Several times I synchro Black Rose, Glow Bulb, or Spore for a Stardust or a Scrap Dragon, because it's just so much more useful. Don't be afraid to do that and just make the right plays. Alright, I'll show you guys my build next video, just in case you want to see it. So, good luck with Debris, and peace.